People are spending money and out like crazy. They're not feeling like the world's caving in on them and they should save their pennies wisely. There's some industries that are getting fucking hammered to death right now, right?
Yeah.
But then go to Yorkdale and everybody, and I don't care what people say, people are just there, blah, 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 they're not doing anything. Bullshit. Everybody's holding bags. People are in Yorkdale with fucking bags, like in both hands, bursting. Okay. And
Right.
yeah, some people they bought a coffee or they bought a drink or a yogurt or whatever, but people are spending money and out like crazy. They're not feeling like the world's caving in on them and they should save their pennies wisely, right? So you've got this booming retail where people just need stuff or need to be entertained, right? The vacation, entertainment, food industry is going bananas again, right? But real estate, at least now it's starting to pick up, but before it was dead, furniture dead, construction dying, right? But now we're all in the weeds going, hang on a sec. There's some life here.
Maybe I should buy
Maybe,
some real estate.
yeah, maybe it's time. No, but people have been waiting for that signal. And I think I've said in the past for sure, like, just hold the rate long enough and people will take that as a good enough signal that at least there's stability. But we have a bunch of morons here that are going to take this stability and over saturate this market with more stupidity. Like we already see lineups in Milton. We see people like 85 bids on a stupid semi in Mississauga, for God's sakes, right? We see bidding wars everywhere, regardless of where the end price ends up. These bidding wars are at least keeping prices flat, for God's sakes, right? Not cratering like they really kind of should be, because who the fuck, like TK saying, only people are buying a house that have to buy a house. The real crazy part is that there's a million people that gotta buy a house right now, and there's no houses to buy.
Yeah.
And they've adjusted because they come here knowing my rate will be 5-6%, right?
Yep. They know, like they've been adjusting for a while now. I mean, the clients that are buying, we've been looking at the rates and there was like, oh man, I have to pay that much rate. And oh, I have to, and then all of a sudden it was just like, all right, like those they stopped complaining about it, to be honest with you. They just said like, okay, can we go look at this house and what's the price and da 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 da, right? They adjusted to it. And then the new people who are just coming in, obviously, they weren't thinking about a 2% interest rate. They never even ran the math on it. They're just walking into the scenario, calling Mark, saying, hey, I want to get a mortgage. They've already gone onto a website to figure out what they're going to qualify for. And when Mark tells them that he's going to get them $500,000 mortgage to buy their house for 800 or whatever, they go, yeah, that sounds about right. Appreciate it. You know, so this is the environment that we're in. And unfortunately, the big storyline really is rates. I mean, the people that I'm dealing with, because I work a lot with sellers, are struggling, and that they want to see their payments get lowered so that they don't have to sell. They don't want to sell. They're not coming and saying like, oh, I need to get rid of this house because there's problems. They're saying I can't afford it. The one this week was $1 million mortgage, $4,000 payment is now $8,000. Right? I can't afford it. It's a rental property. The rent's under $4,000. I'm bleeding $5,000 a month. Nobody can do that. Nobody can do that forever after tax money.
And that's the other side of the coin, right? How long until when does that supply avalanche hit? Right? We keep on talking about the buyers coming back. How long can these 5% rates continue until we see a wave of selling? I said in the fall, if there is going to be a wave of selling, people are waiting until the spring, right? So are we going to see the sellers come back in the spring as well, not just the buyers?
But can the market absorb
the
new inventory? Probably no. Like how
right
much
now,
more, how much of a flood are we talking
absorb,
here?
we can absorb the inventory that's coming on. I'm watching new listings coming up every day. So definitely, Mark, you're right, more and more. But I just think that overall, because of the increase to population, overall, the amount of buyers compared versus in especially in the GTA. I mean, I can't speak for every neighborhood, but especially in the GTA and probably Vancouver's the same. The amount of new buyers and eager buyers compared to the amount of like desperate sellers who are going to be selling is like 4 to 1.
True.
You know, and
so I agree.
We'll absorb those listings that are going to come up. It just really depends on rates. I mean, if rates go up, they'll come a lot sooner. If they come down a little bit, they'll be spread out a little bit more. If they stay the same, then, you know, we'll have to kind of see what the trajectory is going to be, but they're going to be spread out because Canadians are so prideful, and that they don't want to lose their home. They don't want to sign on their lawn. They don't want people to know that they're selling. They don't want that the relationship we have with our home is so much different than it is in other parts of the world. And so that they don't want to be just like, okay, I give up and raise the white flag and let's just sell because I can't afford it anymore. They beg, borrow, and steal to keep their home as long as possible so that they don't have to sell. And if they can weather the storm, which the people will double down on real estate, there's emotion involved. Will they be right? We'll find out.
Yeah, but so how do you weather a doubling of your mortgage payment when you definitely didn't get more money from your job? If you have a job, what are you seeing applications that are just so blatantly fraudulent in your business?
I've seen a few. I usually catch them. I can usually tell if it's a fraud before we even get to the application, or what would be considered a fraud. So I don't usually even get to the application part of it, but I have received a few, and like the T4's obviously photoshopped.
Obviously photoshopped.
Yeah,
Not
like
a good Photoshop job if it's obviously photoshopped, right?
Not that hard to Photoshop
This
a
was like,
PDF.
and this was like a year and a half ago. And like you could tell when I spoke to the realtor, they knew it too.
Right, they knew it.
They were like
Everybody's in
in
on it.
tandem trying to pull a
Right.
scam.
Yeah,
For sure.
I've shared this before in the show, Mark. I tried to find somebody one time. I had a guy who's stuck. He needed, you know, he's trying to like refinance or something like that. And he's like, I need you to find me one of those guys because he didn't want to sell. And there's really nothing that I could do to help him on in any other way. So I just like reached out to my agent friends. Yes, I might have reached out to some people who are in Brampton and other areas. Just saying.
Yeah.
And I literally did not find anybody ever. Like it was like a dead end. It was a dead end. Yet Darryl can make 2 phone calls and he's just trying to get a legit mortgage. He's like, no, I got all my paperwork. And they're just like, well, you know, we can get you double if you really want.
Would you like a tax refund this year as
I'm like,
well?
everyone, like, I guess the impression people have is like, maybe they think that I'm going to like, you know, rat them out or something like that. So they're like, we can't tell you about our guys. Like, who are you, Mr. You know, TK Butler?
I don't know what it is.
But Darryl, they're just like, hey, bro, what's going on? How much money you need? You know,
Yeah.
so
Darryl's no snitch.
clearly,
They can tell.
yeah, Darryl's clearly cooler than me.
Like, comment, and subscribe if you got anything from one of these clips. And if you want to see some more, press something on the screen here. Boom.
That was good.
That was good. I like that. That was good.